Hello, everybody, and welcome to the weekly reading. For those of you who celebrate, I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. And this is the week that brings us into the new year, our final days in 2022. And we end this week with our first day of 2021. So, big week. And from an astrological perspective, we have Mars retrograde all week still. So we kind of see in the new year with Mars in retrograde, but we have Mercury stationing retrograde on the 29th. And so we start the new solar cycle, the new year, with two personal planets in retrograde, Mars and Mercury in Capricorn. Mars is in Gemini, Mercury's in Capricorn. There is a bit of a go slow, and I think that is reflected in certainly the one card of this week. So let's take a deep breath and pick a card between 1 and 4, and just tuning into what it is that you need to know as you, most specifically, as you sign off for this 2022 and step into the next 2023. And I've used a lot of different crystals as almost like Christmas decorations, kind of baubles and different colors and energies, and the oils of forgive and cheer, because this is a time of year where we're kind of confronted with a lot of our patterns and cycles oftentimes. Whether you're the person who is thrust into family situations that bring up some old triggers from childhood or whenever, or whether you are the person who is suddenly feeling very alone and isolated over the season, you'll be forced to confront some of your stuff. And I think that is both confronting in an uncomfortable way, but also gives us the opportunity to practice our new muscles, the work that we've been doing to see if we've broken some patterns or how well we see the patterns that we never even used to see before. So wherever you find yourself on this journey, remember to give yourself some credit. So let's jump into the reading. Here's the big picture of it, and we will start in with the Six of Swords as we zoom in. And I really think that this is saying, job well done, you are moving to better shores. But there is a bit of sadness in this card. So swords is air, which is our mental faculties. And remember that Mercury is our thinking planet, who is is already in shadow of going retrograde and goes retrograde this week. So with this card, it's kind of like help arrives just as it's needed. And that's a reminder for us. But it's never easy to transition to a new land. So anybody who's ever moved house, moved town, moved country knows that there are good things and bad things, easy things and sad things. So it's not something that is just all sunshine and light. And I think we want to try to avoid feeling jaded, but at the same time acknowledge the sadness and the stages of grief that it takes to leave something behind, even when there's excitement, enthusiasm, and optimism moving forward. And we also have Jupiter now in Aries, where he will be for the next sort of 6 months. So that's going to bring in a lot of optimism and enthusiasm and forward momentum. But we mustn't forget that it is important to feel the stages of what we need to feel, even though we realize that we are being supported, the journey is shifting trajectory, and kind of coming to the acceptance of that. And then the second card, the Judgment card, that's our only major arcana card this week. So this is even going into a bigger picture than the feeling that we may be having or the thinking that we may be having, specifically in the Six of Swords. Of what I'm leaving behind, what I'm sad to say goodbye to, how will I make a new life on the other shore, how will I make new friends, how will it be in that new job, etc., etc. Even in that new year, when I leave behind 2022, will 2023 bring as much challenge, etc., etc. So the Judgment card is a bigger picture, and for me here it's really about it's the second last card of the major arcana, so it's almost like a full complete journey in itself. So it's also like we're almost at that distant shore, we're almost there, we've almost cracked the journey, which of course just begins another journey. The ending of any journey is the beginning of a new one. But I love the imagery in this card where there is this kind of like releasing one's higher self, like a dancer floating up, heart open, and suspending judgment and criticism. And that starts with yourself. That starts with self. So if you're that person who's going, oh my gosh, I got triggered by so and so again, and I'm struggling to deal with X, Y, and Z, or I'm feeling so alone and I'm such an idiot, and you're starting with nasty self-talk or whatever the case may be, this is where you really want to say, I'm doing the best I can with the tools I have. I am doing my work and I can see how my work is paying off, even though I still might be finding this hard. Those kinds of conversations, the change in conversation, the self-acceptance, the non-judgment, and the self-love and compassion that comes with that. Because if you can do that for yourself, then you can do that for another. And if you can't do that for yourself, then you can't fully do that for another. So many of us feel like, oh, I can forgive other people or not judge, forgive other people and not judge myself, not judge others, but I do judge myself and I don't forgive myself. Well, then it's not actually true. If you cannot forgive yourself, and if you keep judging yourself, then on some level of yourself, you are still judging and not forgiving another. So it always starts by bringing it home to you. So watch yourself talk, give yourself credit, give yourself a break, compassion, and release judgment and let yourself soar. And then we've got the Knight of Pentacles, who I think came up a few weeks back for us as well. And he's just such a solid, stable guy. He's saying, yes, just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Things are turning out perfectly. You can see his horses just following him. There's no need to race ahead. We're not that kind of knight in the Pentacles suit. We are slow and steady wins the race. Put in the work, put in the effort, do it every day, get consistent, get reliable, find your grit, dig deep. This has been a big year. The last few years have been big. How do I step steadily and consistently and reliably into 2023? And again, I feel like that's like the commitment to self. So if you commit to your own good habits, your own needs, your own goals, rather than getting all worked up about what somebody else may need from you or how you think somebody else should be, then you're not going to get it right that way. But if you're looking at your own commitment to self, to your goals, to your needs, etc., that helps with the 20, the judgment card as well. And then our final card, and the only one that is upside down this week, is the Two of Swords. So another swords card. And this is really there's a choice point. There's two roads, at least two roads. So this brings me to the Mars retrograde in Gemini, which is coming to an end. I think it's the 12th of January. So we're not too far off the end of the retrograde there, which has been big. It's been in Gemini, in a sign that is about twos, duality. Mercury, who is the ruler of Gemini, is now going backwards by the end of this week. So he is also a very mercurial, dualistic kind of energy. And in this, we take away the sense of sight and we say, you've got to feel which way. But we still may not actually get that movement yet, because we can't really think our thoughts forward as easily when Mercury is retrograde, and we can't do our actions forward as easily when Mars is in retrograde. Therefore, this end of the week card, and it's not really specifically to the end of the week, but our last card of this week is saying, and you might feel like your momentum is not what it should be. You might feel like the clarity of thought is not what you'd like it as you set your intentions moving into the new year, but that's okay. And instead of trying to think and do, just slow down and tune into your other senses, tune into the feelings and the knowings rather than the thinking and the doing. I think that's really important. Steadily do with Knight of Pentacles, steadily take those steps. Slowly, slowly, steadily, consistently. But don't expect yourself to hurtle into the new year and have all of your, I wanted to swear there, all of your stuff together. You won't have it all together. So just take a deep breath, tune in, recognize that you're unraveling a lot of stuff. You can see the crows are unraveling the thoughts. And there might be a sense that sands are running out. Your time is running out. You must rush forward. But that's not what this is about. This is about rather feeling each grain of sand, unraveling each old thought that no longer serves, so that you can edit to know what it is that you do want to move forward with. And when we get to Mars going direct on, as I say, I think it's around the 12th, and Mercury's only a few days after that. So they actually will both turn direct quite close together, and then we'll have a period of time where every single planet will be direct for, I think it's 3, maybe 4 even months, which is quite unusual. So that'll be a forward lurching kind of energy. That's not for now. And the more calmly you work now, the more you edit what you don't need now, so that you can understand what you do need moving forward, the more things you'll tick off and the more traction you'll have when those planets are all direct. So I hope this has been helpful. I am wishing you all a happy, happy new year. And remember, I am available for all sorts of readings. Check out the link in my bio if you would like an astrology reading, a tarot reading, a healing session, or a combination of all three, which is always a really helpful thing to step into a new cycle with, so that you have a little bit of guidance. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for watching.